Even Oprah Winfrey couldn't buy her way out of this, and it almost ruined her health after 60. Yes, the world-famous rich Oprah that is surrounded by personal chefs, trainers, and every comfort imaginable still faced a silent enemy lurking inside her body. About 10 years ago, Oprah was battling the dangerous consequences of this deep abdominal fat. Not the superficial pounds you can pinch, but the hidden fat that wraps around your organs, quietly driving diabetes risk, heart strain, hormonal imbalances, and metabolic slowdown. For decades, Oprah publicly struggled with weight, not just what you see on the scale, but the deep internal fat that doctors now know drives inflammation, strains the heart, and interferes with hormones. She has openly said that obesity is a disease of the brain, and even with top-tier chefs, trainers, and medical care, the visceral fat around her organs quietly persisted, contributing to blood sugar spikes, hormone disruption, and cardiovascular risk. The truth we need to accept is that visceral fat isn't just padding your waistline. It's an unwelcome tenant deep inside your abdomen, constantly sending chemical alarms to your organs, blood sugar, and metabolism. It whispers, then nags, then shouts, until your health finally forces you to pay attention. But here's the hope. Oprah didn't give up. Over the last decade, she embraced science-backed, practical strategies to target visceral fat specifically. She adjusted her diet, habits, and lifestyle in ways that reduced inflammation, preserved muscle, and restored metabolic health. Today, at 71, she's healthier, stronger, and more energetic, a living proof that visceral fat can be fought successfully, even after 60. Oprah's journey is both cautionary and inspiring. She has fought years of yo-yo dieting, public shaming, and health scares. She stepped forward a decade ago as a spokesperson for obesity awareness, revealing that even the rich and famous can be vulnerable to the dangerous health effects of visceral fat. Today, she has embraced a science-backed approach that addresses the root causes of visceral fat, from lifestyle adjustments to medical guidance, proving that it's possible to regain control even after 60. And that's exactly why her story is the perfect lead-in. It reminds us that visceral fat is stealthy, but not invincible. The good news is, research shows that small, strategic, and practical changes can dramatically reduce this harmful fat, protect muscle, and restore metabolic health, especially for people over 60. Before we begin, tell us in the comments your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now let's dive into 5 science-backed steps that directly attack visceral fat and retrain your metabolism to work with you instead of fighting you. In step 5, I'll give you a clear 30-day roadmap to stack these visceral fat-burning methods without feeling overwhelmed. The first step begins with calming the nervous system that's been quietly driving fat storage. Step 1, controlled breathing. To engage the vagus nerve. Start with slow breathing since it costs nothing and can change your whole day. A consistent practice of slow, diaphragmatic breathing, the kind that emphasizes belly movement and long, steady exhales, shifts your autonomic nervous system out of chronic fight or flight and into a repair and burn mode. That matters because stress hormones like cortisol encourage the body to stash fat deep in the abdomen. Studies of slow, patterned breathing show measurable improvements in heart rate variability and reductions in blood pressure and acute stress markers, all signals your body can use to stop storing visceral fat and start mobilizing it. You can start with sitting quietly twice a day for 12 to 15 minutes. Breathe with your hand on your belly so the abdomen rises, not the chest. Use a slow count that feels natural. For example, inhale for 4 counts, hold briefly if it helps, and exhale for 6 to 8 counts. Keep it gentle, not forced. Over a week, this becomes easier, and over a month, you'll notice calmer mornings, less midday blood sugar volatility, and better sleep, all of which support visceral fat loss. Breathing resets the stress switch. Next, we're going to reset the control center that tells your body whether to store fat or burn it. Step 2, targeted soluble fiber plus prebiotics. This resets your gut so it tells your body to burn belly fat. Your gut microbiome isn't just about digestion, it's a metabolic control center. Certain types of soluble fiber feed bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which then communicate with your metabolism and promote fat oxidation. Large population and clinical studies have linked higher soluble fiber intake to meaningful reductions in visceral fat over months and years. Specific fibers like glucomannan, found in konjac, have shown useful effects on appetite and blood sugar, and adding prebiotic foods, onions, garlic, or Jerusalem artichoke, encourages the bacteria that amplify this process. You can aim for a soluble fiber bump every day, ground flaxseed in your morning protein shake, 3 grams glucomannan 30 minutes before your largest meal, and a cooked cup of beans or lentils at dinner. Add everyday prebiotics, a clove or two of garlic, or a small piece of Jerusalem artichoke, across several meals each week. This combination slows glucose spikes, supports insulin sensitivity, and signals the body to preferentially use visceral fat for fuel. Once your gut is sending better signals, there's a powerful question left. When should you eat? Because timing can quietly undo all your hard work or multiply your results. Step 3. Time-restricted eating when you eat matters. Time-restricted eating works because it aligns with your circadian rhythm, your body's natural timing system. Keeping meals in an 8 to 10 hour daytime window boosts insulin sensitivity, improves sleep, and activates your body's cellular cleanup. Studies show it reduces belly fat even without counting calories. A longer nightly fast lets your body switch into fat burning and repair mode automatically. To follow this daily, you can begin with a 12-hour window, for example, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., for 1 week, then trim by 30 minutes each week until you reach a comfortable 8 to 10-hour window, something like 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Keep meals satisfying and protein-forward so you don't stress the body with extreme hunger. During the fasting hours, stick to water, black coffee, or plain tea. Once your eating window supports fat burning, there's a simple environmental trick that turns the dial even further, without a single extra step or workout. Step 4. Controlled cold exposure to activate brown fat. Temperature matters. Even mild cold can activate brown fat. Not all fat is the same. Brown adipose tissue, or brown fat, is designed to burn calories and generate heat. Gentle, regular cold exposure, not ice baths, just small temperature drops you can comfortably tolerate, boosts brown fat activity and increases overall calorie burn. Imaging studies show that this type of controlled cold stimulation helps the body tap into white, visceral fat for energy. When paired with the other strategies in this video, simple cold habits can meaningfully accelerate visceral fat loss. Practical routine. In the evening, lower the thermostat by a few degrees for an hour or two while you're relaxing, or finish your shower with 30 seconds of cooler water. If you're new to this, start with 10 to 15 minutes per day and increase gradually. The idea is to stimulate brown fat gently and regularly, not to create discomfort or risk. Cold wakes up brown fat, but there's one more piece that decides whether you burn fat or muscle as you lose weight, and this is critical after 60. After that, we'll talk about how all the steps work together and the 30-day step-by-step blueprint. Step 5. Strategic protein consumption. Strategic protein timing is one of the most powerful tools you have after 60. Muscle becomes your best ally for burning calories, even at rest. Research shows that older adults get the biggest benefit when protein is spread evenly across the day. About 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal. That steady, repeated signal helps preserve lean muscle, boosts your resting metabolism, and prevents weight loss from stripping away muscle instead of fat. Start your morning with protein to calm that early cortisol spike, then include meaningful protein at lunch and dinner to keep your metabolism active all day long. Let me tell you a routine you can follow is that within an hour of waking, you should prioritize a protein source: eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie delivering approximately 25 grams. At lunch and dinner, target palm-sized portions of fish, chicken, lean red meat, or combined plant proteins, lentils plus quinoa, for instance. If prepping helps, batch cook lean proteins on the weekend so you never fall back on low-protein breakfasts like toast. Now the question is, how do these 5 steps reinforce each other? Each strategy targets a different physiological lever. Breathing calms the nervous system and reduces cortisol spikes that drive visceral storage. Soluble fiber and prebiotics remodel your gut signals. Time-restricted feeding synchronizes metabolism with circadian timing. Mild cold revs up brown fat calorie burning, and protein timing preserves muscle so the body's baseline calorie use stays high. Used together, they create a persistent, reinforcing environment where visceral fat becomes the body's preferred fuel instead of a chronic fat storage problem. Before we get to the 30-day plan, we need to briefly talk about some medical precautions. If you have chronic conditions, heart disease, diabetes, blood pressure medication, or are on glucose-lowering drugs, check with a physician before making major changes, especially with fasting windows, glucomannan supplements, or temperature manipulation. Start gently and listen to your body. These strategies are adaptable, not mandatory. Now, the big question is, how do you put this into practice in your real life? That's exactly why I built a simple 4-week plan for you. Here is a simple, practical plan for the first 30 days. Week 1, anchor with breathing, 12 to 15 minutes twice daily, and add a protein to breakfast. Move your thermostat down 1 to 2 degrees for a short evening window, and begin a 12-hour eating window. Add 1 soluble fiber serving daily. Week 2, narrow your eating window to 10 to 11 hours, add the glucomannan before your largest meal, and increase protein at lunch. Finish showers with a short, cool rinse. Week 3, settle into a 9 to 10 hour feeding window, keep breathing practice consistent, and introduce a second prebiotic food, garlic or Jerusalem artichoke. Maintain thermostat habits each evening. Week 4, start evaluating. Measure waste, energy, sleep, and mood. If everything feels good, keep the pattern and continue to prioritize protein per meal and the twice daily breathing. You don't have to master everything at once. The easiest place to start is the one you can do today, without equipment, money, or perfection. And the easiest place to begin? Just breathe. A few minutes of focused breathing each day lowers stress, sharpens your mind, and kicks your metabolism into gear for the other steps. Then add one new habit at a time, because remember, consistency beats perfection. When you pair a calmer nervous system, better gut signals, circadian-friendly meals, mild cold exposure, and steady protein, visceral fat doesn't stand a chance. And also, if you want to accelerate your results with exercises designed for fat loss, check out the companion exercise video. This is the #1 exercise to melt belly fat. Works in 30 days. And don't miss out on subscribing to our channel. We've got 50+ videos packed with tips for people over 50, helping you feel healthier, stronger, and more energized every single day.